Hello, this is Saber Bricks, and welcome to a review of set number 75357, The Ghost and Phantom 2. Recommended for ages 10 and up, this set comes with 1,394 pieces. Moving on to the minifigures, I think it's a great minifigure selection, but just for £150, I don't think it's really that great. Considering in the Tantive4 hallway, we got like 7 minifigures for £40. Moving on to Hera Syndulla, I think it's a great minifigure. I've got pretty much no complaints. I love how the goggles are very well represented on the top. And on the back of the minifigure, her Leku is very well printed with all of like the nice circles and like patterns on it. And then it's got a nice back print on the torso as well, with the classical orange legs for Hera. This figure also has some nice printing on the torso on the front, and some nice leg printing, which is just like standard. Moving on to Lieutenant Beta, I think it's a great minifigure. I love the headpiece. It's one of my favourite like aliens in Star Wars, with a beautiful like underprinting on the head and some nice patterns on the top. The eyes are also very well done on the head, and so on the torso, I think it's great. It's everything you'd expect, especially on the back. It's just like normal, I suppose, yeah. Moving on to Officer Hawkins, I think it's a great minifigure. Just a typical rebel like officer with a beautiful torso print, the perfect colour arms, I would say, and a nice legs to go with it. Although I would have preferred a dual molded leg piece with like some black boots, which is like standard for the officers. I think it's great. On the back, it's also got just like some nice folds, I suppose, and like a nice belt for the minifigure. Moving on to Jacen Syndulla, this is a almost perfect minifigure apart from the hairpiece, because I think it should have been green, which is what it was like represented as in the show. Something like this was shown in the previous Ghost and Phantom set, when Kanan's hairpiece was like black instead of brown, which it should have been, so Lego later decided to change it to the correct colour. But I don't think they'll do it with this set. He's got a nice torso print, which is like really good, because it's got the nice coat and then like the like jumper on the inside. On the back, it's pretty good, just not that much to show. The back of the head also has a fresh, like, dual molded, like, face. So he's happy on that one. Moving on to Chopper, which I think is the worst minifigure in this set. Is, like, he's white on the, like, main body, which I don't think is how it should be. I think it was better on the 2014 version, which is just here, because it was grey, which I think is more accurate and looks better. Also, the print on the 2014 one is more detailed, and the helmet, like the head, I suppose, is like the more accurate colour compared to the normal like version from now. Although the most recent version does have back printing, yeah. Moving on to the Phantom 2, I think this is great. It's like very downscaled, but it's everything you expect for a Phantom 2. The windshield on this set doesn't open how you'd expect it. The actual front of the ship has to come down so you can get in. And as you can see, it's a very tight fit in there, but it gets the job done. Moving on to the back, there's a nice like compartment where you can put some guns and some like thingies, I suppose. And then there's like some nice boosters as well, and some nice like tilted, slanted like pieces to represent the back of the ship. Yeah, as you can see there's lots of like storage in there. Sides also like open a little bit, and on the side there's a perfect spot, which is like 2007 Lego Star Wars style, where you can put the astromech head instead of like what they've been doing more recently, especially in 2020 with Anakin's Jedi Starfighter, where you just have to put like the entire droid in with its body and everything, whereas this you just put the head on. And trying to fit a minifigure in the Phantom 2, it's a bit of a tight squeeze. As you can see, it doesn't really fit, when it's like sitting up normally, you've got to kind of lie the minifigure down and then like close the windshield, which I think looks alright. On the side of the Phantom 2, you can also see some nice printing. Moving on to the actual main build, the Ghost. I think it's a beautiful set. It's everything you'd expect for a Ghost, with the correct colours and everything on the side as well. On the front of the set, you can also see a nice printed part. Moving on to the back of the set, the boosters have got this like metallic blue, which I think looks beautiful on this set. You can also see how the Phantom 2 is more scaled with the ship than the 2014 version, and it just sits in there quite nicely. On the side of the ship, it's pretty good. I especially like the docking bays on the side. I think they're very accurate. On the front of the ship, you can see that the cockpit just pulls out, and then you can see like inside and the clips that it uses to attach to that main ship. Very nice, I think. On the inside, you can kind of make out what it is, but it's like a control panel with like just a red like cheese slope on, and there's the connections for the bomb. This little piece also just moves up and down a little bit. Up here, this annoyingly stickered like windshield panel opens up so you can enter the main like back cockpit of the ship. And you can see a minifigure fits in there quite well. Pretty good. Everything you'd expect, really. On the top of the ship, this panel pulls off really easily. You just got to be careful not to knock the Phantom off. And on the inside, there's lots of space, surprisingly. You can see the two like panels there to put Chopper's feet on, which I think is very nice. And then there's like a little control panel there. Not too sure what it's for, but I like it. And then on the other side of the Ghost, you can see a little sink, like a tap, in a little container. I think that's really neat. On the side, you can see some panels which would come down to try and get a minifigure in. It's very difficult to get a minifigure in. As you can see here, I'm struggling to even get Jason in. Whereas when you use a longer minifigure like Hera, it's much easier to get them in, but they only barely fit. Very tight. On the top, you can see this turret up here. Only barely fits a minifigure in, but I think he gets the job done, and it looks very, like, good. There's also no studs in there, so it's like you just got to slide the minifigure in there. The turret also only moves up and down, which is a bit of a complaint, whereas the front one moves in all directions, as you can see, which I really like, but it falls off really easily. The side panels, I really like. I think the sand blue was very well used. Same with the green. I think it's like a very detailed part of the ship with like all the correct colour usages, with some stickers as well, but I think they get the job done. On the side of the ship, you can also see a paint roller, which I think was really well used. Same with a hot dog on the back. A grey hot dog in a Lego Star Wars set is just crazy. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe.